Hello and welcome. I have got sinus drainage that has been here for a month. If you guys have any suggestions on how to make that stop, nothing has worked, please let me know. These plot twists, we are going to be talking about the Nancy Guthrie case, all of these new things that have come to light, and we're going to be talking about some of the things that I questioned a while back, never got any answers to, because it kind of feels like they're coming up now. First, talk about Savannah's video. Savannah Guthrie, who is Nancy's daughter, has been putting out some videos basically pleading with the people involved in her mother going missing. She put out a recent video that seemed a little bit different than the other videos, sort of. It's almost like Savannah has a little more information than what we do, which is possible and probable, because they're not going to put out all the information that they know because it could hurt the case. We can only assume that they do know more. I have read this video is directed towards a female. Now, we have been speculating as to whether or not the person in the mask and gloves was female or whether it was male from the very beginning. Now, this video seems to be directed towards a female, asking for them to come forward and telling them it's never too late. Now, of course, you could say that to a male. We could be reading into that a little bit further, but it's almost like she's talking to someone she knows. Now, they've said that they have cleared everyone in the immediate family, and they also said that that immediate family is for the children and their spouses. But here's one of the questions that was asked on one of my earlier videos about this. Someone said in a post that they thought it was the brother-in-law, and I asked if anyone knew if Nancy had a brother-in-law. I'm having issues finding siblings for Nancy. I'm also having trouble finding information about her husband. Does anyone know? Does Nancy have siblings? Does she have a sister who's married, making her have a brother-in-law? Did her husband have a brother or a sister, giving her a brother-in-law? We thought maybe they were insinuating Savannah's brother-in-law. I questioned as to whether or not Nancy herself had a brother-in-law. Does she? Do you know? Have you found any information about this? We got information about this male that was taken in for questioning. If I'm not mistaken, it's the same male that owned the Range Rover that was taken in for searching. Then I read that that male is actually in a relationship with Nancy's niece. Plot twist, right? If Nancy has a niece that is in a relationship with someone who is involved in this, that video could be directed towards a female, and Savannah could be trying to talk to her, it would be her cousin, I suppose. This video would be reaching out to a family member of Savannah's. That would be a female. Where are you on this? Have you found any information about any of this being actual, factual information? I am having so many issues finding information on Nancy Guthrie personally. She could have some kind of personal data account that is erasing everything that's being found, and that's possible. So Nancy Guthrie could have her identity linked to an account like that. That's possible. So that could be why we are not really finding a lot of detailed information. You know, if Nancy had siblings, if Nancy's husband had siblings, and if she has a niece that could be involved, or a brother-in-law that could be involved. We also want to talk about this glove DNA that has come back, and they said that the DNA matches DNA found in the house that is not linked to an immediate family member or Nancy herself. This glove, they said, the glove was not found in Nancy's home. They also said they're finding these gloves, and they're the same ones that the search party was using while searching for Nancy. Did they not have a disposal place for when you got through searching that you signed out and you threw your gloves away? I'm having issues with why a search party member would just chunked their gloves as litter. They DNA'd it, and it's coming back to match DNA in the house. If that is not correct information and you know the correct information, please leave it in a comment where this glove that matches the DNA in the house actually came from. So this DNA is in the house. The house was searched and released back to the family. Were any of the people involved in searching for Nancy as the search party, were they allowed in the house? Was this put out somewhere that I have not found? If this DNA is a person that was searching for her that was just allowed into the house, that would be why their DNA is in the glove and in the house. Or do you think that the person involved in Nancy's abduction is actually part of the search party? And then also the DNA in the house was not linked to anyone in the immediate family, but does that also include the niece and Nancy's brother-in-law, if she has a brother-in-law? I'm trying to put these pieces together. Are search members, is their DNA taken before they're allowed to be part of a search party? Because if not, they need to be, to where they can put your DNA on file that says this person was a part of the search party. So we can question them further, or we can dismiss them because we know why their DNA was part of it. That needs to be done if it's not being done. I keep going back to whether or not the DNA for the extended family has been cleared. DNA didn't match immediate families, but did it match at all? Was there any part of this DNA that could be related to Nancy or Nancy's husband? I don't know enough about the facts of DNA and how much it shows whenever they test. I feel like it would say, and I feel like they would be able to know if there was any kind of relationship, if it would clear her niece, her brother-in-law, or sister-in-law on either side, whether it's someone married to her sibling or whether it's someone kin to her husband, or that it would not clear them because they wouldn't have any blood relation to her, but they would have blood relation to her children. Did it clear anyone related to Nancy's children? Because that makes it go even further. And I feel like if they didn't use Nancy's children's DNA to clear this DNA, then they need to go back and test this DNA against Nancy's children to see if maybe it's someone that shows up as being related. We definitely have some new answers, but we also have even more questions every day. I keep saying that, and it's true. We have more questions every day and very few answers. So we talked about the people coming in to clean the pool, but then I also saw where a vehicle drove up that was said to be someone to do lawn care. Okay, we have given back the home to the kids before they should have given it back. We then had people come in and clean the pool for some reason that we don't know or understand. And now they're saying that this new person that has come in is to do lawn care. If you know if that's true or not, why? You didn't need to clean the pool unless it was just to try to fish out some evidence. That pool should have just been covered if you were worried about it getting dirty. But why are we even worried about the pool? And now why are we at all worried about lawn care? I feel like someone is definitely trying to jeopardize this case, and we need to know who hired the pool people to come in and clean this pool. And if they did hire somebody to come and do the lawn, who hired them? Because I firmly believe that whoever is having these people to come in and do this cleaning has got to be involved in what happened to her and not wanting her to possibly come back. Because regardless of if the house was given back, that property does not need to be cleaned up until they find Nancy. I get that if you have grass, you've got to have it cut back to keep snakes out and things like that, but you cannot just have people come in and start doing lawn care. There could be evidence out there, blood, DNA, footprints somewhere, that you are now jeopardizing even more. They know the camera was broken or disassembled when Nancy went missing, and yet they did not carefully remove the rest of it to take it for DNA. They didn't know at the time what was going on with that camera. If someone used their hand to disassemble it and they cut themselves or they left DNA around that bracket, that should have been carefully disassembled when that bracket and everything around it was removed to send off for testing. It should have been removed immediately to be saved and tested. It seems like the sheriff's department is so new to doing any kind of investigation. It seems like every time we have a case, stuff is done wrong, and that they go back and admit later that they did things wrong, and they're not thinking to begin with. We need to have a checklist of everything that's done. Why is this happening this day and age? We should all know better. And I feel like no one seems to know better. So what is the deal? We need some answers. And I feel like we're not getting those answers. I have a carrot. So where are you on this case? How do you feel about it now? Let me know if you have even more questions than what I am asking. I feel bad that we can't seem to get anything that seems to truly be linking us closer to finding Nancy. So with that being said, have a wonderful day. And remember, we love you.